Right now at 6, a man is talking to News 3 tonight after spending the last few weeks in jail after being arrested while federal immigration officers were here in Wisconsin.
Nothing really gets done until the next summer or the fall, and we have to take our toll on our vehicles.
Wisconsin residents share their concerns about roads as the midterm election nears. Hear where the candidates stand on this issue tonight at 6.
This is News 3 at 6.
Thanks for joining us. It's been a little over a month since federal immigration agents arrested 83 undocumented immigrants in Wisconsin.
A local man arrested during that operation is out on bond tonight, hoping his contributions to the Madison community will allow him to stay in the country where he was raised. Amanda Quintana is here with more on his story.
Yes, 22-year-old Sergio Victor was arrested with a group of his co-workers, including his father and his uncle. Although he's home now with his mother, his daughter, and his fiance, he's still preparing to face a deportation hearing.
We were on our way to work, we weren't targets or anything, and it was just wrong place, wrong time. That's what they told us, their explanation, their reasoning.
Sergio Victor, along with his father, uncle, and friends, were arrested by ICE officials last month.
They never told us they were police ICE or anything. They told us it was just, they were looking for somebody dangerous and they were just gonna ask us questions, then we were gonna be released. So we cooperated and everything.
Now he's out on a $20,000 bond. His mother and fiance raised the money, much of it donated by people they don't know.
It's not really a cause for celebration that I'm out because, when I got out, I felt like I left my right hand in there, my heart, my father.
His dad has since been deported. He says there were no warrants for their arrest. A search of Victor's record shows 2 2016 domestic violence charges were dismissed after he completed a first offenders program. The charge he faces now being undocumented.
A lot of people, they don't have criminal records. They just did something, across the border, which a lot of people do for a better life.
Victor came to the U.S. when he was 5, living in the Madison area for the last 13 years. Now waiting to see if a judge allows him to stay. He's hopeful he might be able to take care of his 3-year-old daughter. Immigration attorney Alexandra Daggett says that's hard to get a judge to grant. A majority of those arrested will get deported.
You have to prove that you have specific family members that will suffer exceptional and extremely unusual hardship. And that standard is very high and difficult to reach.
Still, Victor is not afraid. He says what he's contributed to this community through his construction work and to his family, he's proud of. Although he wants to stay, he says he'd contribute those things in whatever community he's in.
I'm very confident of who I am, and I know if I'm not accepted here, I'll be accepted anywhere else.
Attorney Alexandra Daggett says for people like Sergio who came here as a child, there's no sort of self-application to become a citizen. Once they're here, it is very difficult to become legal.
Amanda Quintana reporting tonight. Amanda, thank you.
The items collected in a ground search for missing Wisconsin teen Jamie Kloss are unlikely connected to her disappearance. Hundreds of volunteers walked in swamps, fields, and wooded areas today, searching for the 13-year-old. Jamie has now been missing for 8 days. Deputies were responding to a 911 call at the Kloss' family home in Barron when they found Jamie's parents, James and Denise, dead inside. Investigators believe Jamie was abducted and have ruled her out as a suspect. They are also searching for 2 vehicles, a red or orange Dodge Challenger and a black Ford Edge or black Acura MDX that may have been near the Kloss home the night of that attack. And a funeral for Denise and James Kloss will take place this weekend at St. Peter's Catholic Church. That's in Cameron, a village next to the couple's hometown of Barron. It is the church Denise attended and where a vigil was held for Jamie last week. An online obituary says the couple was married in 2003 in Las Vegas and worked at the Jenny O Turkey store in Barron for 27 years.
Police believe a bus driver had a medical emergency before crashing earlier this afternoon. A Madison Metro bus left the road and ran into a brick wall outside the department's North District building. Detectives provided aid to the driver and 2 passengers. They think the driver had some sort of medical problem on Packers Avenue. He was taken to the hospital along with 1 of the injured passengers. There were 5 passengers on board at the time of the crash.
Security changes are coming to the Rock County Sheriff's Office. This comes after 17-year-old Quantrell Schwartzlow was able to break out of a window in an interview room last week. Schwartzlow was eventually located at a friend's house. Now the window screens are being replaced with a heavy-duty stainless steel screen that will make it harder to break out.
A sunny day for us in southern Wisconsin. Here is Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with your first alert forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. It was sunny today, but it was also cooler than yesterday by about 10 degrees. Let's take a look at visible cloud track. You can see skies are sunny in the southern part of the state. There were some clouds up north and also near Lake Michigan, thanks to lake effect clouds that are coming off of the warmer waters of the Great Lakes. And lake effect snow flurries still being seen up in the eastern portion of the upper peninsula of Michigan, and a few light rain showers in the northern lower peninsula of Michigan. Low temperatures this morning started out in the low to mid 30s most areas. A few places were in the upper 20s north and west of the Dells. High temperatures today generally in the lower 50s across all of southern Wisconsin. Those temperatures have fallen back into the middle to upper 40s to around 50 degrees. By tomorrow morning, we'll be down into the upper 20s to around 30. Look for clear skies overnight, sunny skies tomorrow, and a day very similar to today with a high of 51. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. A project is underway to fix a highway in Sauk County after residents complained for months that it was crumbling. It's just one example of how highway issues were on voters' minds just 2 weeks before the election. Rose Schmidt explains.
I never seen a road like that before.
If you've ever driven down Highway 78 between Prairie du Sac and Merrimack,
We have roads up north, the gravel roads, and they're in better shape than this one.
you know what Nancy Schmitz is talking about.
I got some back problems and stuff, and you can feel all the bumps that are in the road.
The road was redone in 2009 for about $9 million, but in February, Nancy's neighbors said it was crumbling yet again and petitioned to get it fixed.
Finally, they did.
Emergency repairs have started to repave the asphalt. Nancy says she understands why roads are a bump on the campaign trail.
You got to get your cars fixed all the time. I mean, how can people afford it?
So where do the candidates for governor stand on what to do about it?
Our approach going forward is to give local governments the largest increases they've ever had, maintain our state highways, and do it by not doing massive new interchanges in Milwaukee as the state has done over the past decade.
We're not going to have a preconceived solution. I would prefer not to raise any taxes on this issue, but I'll be listening to the people that we're working with to solve this.
In the past, Evers has said everything is on the table when it comes to paying to fix the roads, even upping the gas tax. Walker has criticized this, even saying Evers would increase the tax by as much as $1. But Evers says that will never happen. But those who live near those crumbling roads
It's not good.
just want the potholes and bumps gone for good.
We'll see what happens, but it's been a pain in the butt.
The project to resurface the highway cost $1.3 million. DOT officials say design plans to redo the road are in the works, and reconstruction project is scheduled for 2023. More than 100 people will lose their jobs this January when the Sara Lee Bakery on Madison's east side closes. Executives with Bimbo Bakeries plan to shift production to other facilities in the region. The Madison Bakery makes bread and buns. It employs 158 people, and a few will transition to other roles within the company. A Sara Lee employee tells us the company plans to work with the state workforce agency over the next few months and will offer severance packages.
Popular ski venue could see some major updates, but the owner's plan is concerning some living nearby. Our Keely Arthur joins us live from the City County building with more. Keely?
That's right. Now, the Dane County is looking into approving a conditional use permit for Tyrell Basin. Now, if approved, that will greenlight new lighting for a new tubing facility at the business, and that's where the controversy comes in. Now, the new ownership at Tyrell Basin is looking to put in a $500,000 8-lane tubing run on an unused piece of land at the Town of Vermont business. With that will come lots of new lighting to light the hill. Some of the residents living near the hill are upset with the potential lighting pollution, and some of those residents are expected to speak here tonight at a public hearing for the county. Now, a plan for the lighting was approved by the Town of Vermont last night, but the county needs to do the same, and it's unclear, though, if they will vote to approve that plan tonight. We will, of course, bring you the latest on their plan, though, on News 3 at 10.
All right, we'll have more then. Keely Arthur live downtown. Keely, thank you.
Two Janesville girls are doing something good in their community. They donated the money they raised through a lemonade stand this summer to the Janesville Police Department. McKenna and Malia Maurer donated more than $100. They also created artwork for the department with the help of their parents. The officers say they appreciate what the girls did and are looking for the perfect spot to hang the artwork. For people who don't drive or are without reliable transportation, getting to the polls on Election Day can be tricky.
But one area of business is doing its part to make sure everyone gets the opportunity to vote. That story next at 6. There is a push to get more people to the polls in November.
And one local business is doing so in an unusual way. Jamie Perez joins us now with what employees are doing. Jamie?
That's right. So a lot of people can forget how many people do not have access to reliable transportation. Well, the owner of Fitchburg Family Pharmacy is doing what he can to make sure that all those who are able to vote do.
At Fitchburg Family Pharmacy, they've got one goal in mind.
We have a mission of serving our community here at Fitchburg Family Pharmacy.
Usually that's in the form of problem-solving people's medical needs, but this time
it's a problem of getting to the polls. It's a problem of transportation, and so if that's what we need to do to help people out, that's what we'll do.
And do they will. That is spearheading efforts to get people to the polls on Election Day.
Nothing more that we can do than to help people get to the polls so that they can have their voice heard and be represented by the people they choose.
You don't have to be a patient or customer to get that free ride.
Have any prerequisites? We're not going to ask any questions. We're just going to meet people where they are.
And he's never done this before.
Never.
But he says he expects a lot of calls this first time around.
It's going to be a challenge, but I think we can meet the challenge.
Challenge accepted, and they're already set.
And so we have one delivery driver that we know we have ready to go. Deb.
Deborah.
That's Deb.
Every day, 5 days a week.
She usually spends her time dropping off prescriptions.
Up to the 4th floor. Let's go. We're good to go.
But come November 6th, she'll be dropping off people instead.
Make sure that those that want to vote get there.
No matter what your reason is for not being able to get yourself to the polls,
they're not forgotten.
You have a free ride at your service.
Doesn't matter. If we only give one person a ride, it makes a difference. One vote makes a difference anywhere.
Our democracy can only work if people get out and vote. That's how it works, right?
Yes, it is.
So make it count. If you need a ride, you know who to call.
We'll give them a ride, no matter who you are or what you are, or as long as you're ready to vote. we'll get you there.
You do not have to be a patient or a customer at this pharmacy to get that free ride. It's for everyone. Call the number that's listed at the bottom of your screen to schedule the free ride. That number will also be on our website at channel3000.com.
What a great idea.
Absolutely. Really cool. Anybody can use it, like I said.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
In weather, look for another cool day tomorrow, even though we'll have sunny skies. Then we'll bring in more clouds and some shower chances for the end of the week. I'll have your first load forecast in just a few minutes. Well, it was a cooler day today by about 10 degrees compared to yesterday. If you look at the temperature trend over the last 24 hours, we were in the low 60s for high temperatures yesterday, still in the upper 50s at this time. Temperatures dropped into the middle 30s overnight, but only made it up into the lower 50s today, and already those temperatures are dropping into the 40s. The time lapse from the WISC Skycam looking out toward the west beginning at 8 o'clock this morning shows another day with just almost completely clear skies. And as we headed towards sunset, you can see it was another beautiful sunset. In fact, the live view from the WISC Skycam shows the sun just below the horizon there. The live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville shows a little more light there, obviously being a little farther to the west, but the sun is also dipped below the horizon. And the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing clear skies over the Capitol. As we check out the almanac for today, our high temperature in Madison reached 52 degrees after starting out at 35, so within a couple degrees of the average high of 56 and the average low of 37. Right now we're at 48 with clear skies. Dew point temperature in the upper 20s. That's about where we're expecting temperatures to drop tonight into the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. Powerful Hurricane Willa has weakened a little bit. Still a very powerful Category 2 hurricane as it gets, right now, a Category 3, barely Category 3 as it moves toward the Mexican coast. Maximum sustained winds right now 120 miles per hour, moving north-northeast at 10 miles per hour. The forecast brings it inland and then weakens it very rapidly over the mountains of central Mexico, bringing life-threatening flooding and mudslides, and then some of that moisture temperature will eventually work its way into Texas, where they don't need any more rain. In fact, you can see the rain that's been there has now shifted off to the east near the Gulf Coast, and the clouds from Will already starting to push toward the U.S.-Mexican border. Here in the northern part of the United States, the storm track is staying away from us, so the weather systems that have come through have been very weak and have not brought much in the way of precipitation. Yesterday's cold front has already worked all the way down into Tennessee. The western end of it becomes a warm front, but that's going to be a while before it reaches us, and it really won't bring us much milder air in any time soon. Temperatures right now 30s and 40s in our part of the Midwest, some 50s farther to the south. And on future track, you can see clear skies tonight. Winds eventually shift around to a more southerly direction, but also clouds come in by Thursday, so that kind of defeats the southerly winds, and temperatures will stay nearly steady. 29 for the overnight low temperature with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow's high temperature about the same as today at 51 with mostly sunny skies. On future track, look for clear skies overnight. Those temperatures dropping just below freezing. Tomorrow, look for high temperatures to top out in the lower 50s as winds become a little more southeasterly. Tomorrow night, the clouds start to come in. Low temperatures drop into the lower 30s. We have southerly winds on Thursday, but more clouds, so temperatures about the same as tomorrow. High temperatures right around 50 degrees. 7 to 10 day forecast. Those temperatures a little cooler for the weekend. Look for shower chances to increase as we head toward Saturday night and Sunday. And some of those showers could be mixed with a few flakes of snow. After a cool start to next week, some showers around Halloween, and then another cool shot toward the end of next week.
Well, it was a historic record-setting season for the Brewers, and now that they've had a few days to reflect, Craig Counsell wraps up his thoughts on the season and what his plans are for tonight's World Series Game 1. Well, after a few days of reflection, the Brewers wrapping up its season today. Craig Counsell taking questions from reporters for the last time until pitchers and catchers report in February. Now, the one thing he did say about Game 7 on Sunday was that he wouldn't have changed any decisions when it came to pitching and the bullpen. Meanwhile, baseball does go on. The World Series between the Dodgers and Red Sox starts tonight at Fenway Park in Boston. Counsell says he'll definitely be watching.
From my perspective, there is things to pick up on and learn and understand situationally, strategically, what happens in these games. You play all these regular season games. There's still a much smaller sample of playoff games and to kind of sift through and learn from. So they're very valuable in that regard.
Meanwhile, a very talented Rams squad hosting the Packers in LA this week. The Rams are the only undefeated team left in the league. Now, the Packers, they'll have their hands full this Sunday, thanks in part to Rams top running back Todd Gurley. He scored 3 touchdowns in Sunday's game against the 49ers and leads the NFL in rushing yards and touchdowns this season. So what makes this offense so successful? Well, Packers head coach Mike McCarthy says it's their chemistry.
They play well within their scheme. It's obviously experience. I think they're playing at a high level. I think really when you look at them, their whole offensive line, they're intact. It's a lot of success in offensive line play is the ability to play with all 5 guys together. So I think those guys are playing at a high level.
Meanwhile, some more big moves in the NFL today. New York Giants cornerback Eli Apple is heading to New Orleans. The Saints will give up 4th and 7th round picks for the trade. Now, Apple was a 1st round pick in 2016, but he's had his share of on and off the field struggles. The 23-year-old started 5 games this season, has 23 tackles with 1 forced fumble. Jonathan Taylor currently in 2nd place in the country in rushing yards, much of that due to the Badgers' constantly touted offensive line. Now, the goal of these big guys up front right now is to stay consistent. The front 5 didn't have its best performance of the season in the loss at Michigan, but that doesn't mean that they've lost their touch, according to Michael Dieter. It's just about doing the little things the same way all the time.
Not like a week ago we were playing horrible. There was just some small things, technique-wise, some small things where just got to be a little smarter with some stuff that we needed to clean up as an offense, and I think we did. So when we're on, it should look really smooth like it did, but then it can't just happen one week and not the next week. It's something they have to build on. We got to make sure that's an emphasis for us.
Finally tonight, preseason honors rolling in for Badgers center Ethan Happ, today named to the Associated Press preseason All-America team. Now, only 3 other Badgers have ever gotten this accolade: Michael Finley, Jordan Taylor, and Frank Kaminsky. Last season, Happ led the team in scoring, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. Wisconsin opens its season against UW Oshkosh next Friday at the Kohl Center. And hopefully, with all the guys that were injured last year, they'll be healthy this year. We'll see a successful season.
Should be a totally different story,
yes,
we presume. All right, Gary, final check.
Temperatures are going to be on the cool side for the next week to 10 days. Lower 50s for the next few days. Sunny skies tomorrow, but clouds move in with rain chances highest over the weekend, maybe mixed in with a little snow Saturday night and Sunday morning. Then a little dry weather for Monday and Tuesday, and then some showers about Halloween and cooler weather after that.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.